Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel here by the Tracks Homestead. As you can tell by the thumbnail, our tiller broke. So I wanted to make a video and tell you exactly the whole story of what happened and where we're at now. So let's start off by looking at this tiller. So I bought this tiller in August of last year. It is July 16th or June 16th, 2025 right now. I got this from Home Depot. It's the Ledgen Force rear tiller. It's the 212cc. It's 20-inch width, 7-inch deep tilling. Has 13-inch tines. And the reviews on this at Home Depot were not that good at all. I think it had a little over 4 stars. There's the tiller settings. It has 2 forwards and 1 reverse. But the price was right, so I decided to go ahead and buy it. It came with a 1-year limited warranty on parts and labor and a 2-year limited warranty just on the parts. I've used this thing for about 40 hours because we bought it in August. Winter came, we didn't use it that much last year, and then we started using it this year. So if you watched my videos in the last video, you noticed it was stalling out a lot when I was tilling in between the rows. So I filmed that video, and then I decided to do a little bit more tilling off camera, and I noticed that when the drive was engaged, that the tines weren't spinning, and if I disengaged the drive, the tines would start spinning. So I thought that there might be some kind of transmission issue. And I did check all the fluids before I started using it that day. So I decided to bring it in the garage and let it cool down a minute, and then I was going to take a closer look at it. So I brought it in the garage and I decided to look up the warranty while I was waiting for it to cool down. And I realized it was still under warranty. So I went ahead and I called the company, which is Pulsar. There was a 1-800 number on the paperwork that I got with it. So I called the number, and at first they were kind of, give you a little bit of runaround. But I finally got a hold of a representative for Pulsar, and he was a really nice guy. And he said, it could be the shear pin, and we can send you a new one out. And he goes, or we could replace it. He goes, I'll have to talk to my boss and see what's going to be the best, and I'll call you back. So while I was waiting for him to call me back, I went over and looked at it again, and it had leaked some gear oil onto the floor. So I decided to open up the gear oil reservoir and see what it looked like. And it's like a dark gray color with like pieces of metal in it. And I had just checked this before I started using it. And it was, full and completely clean. So a little while later, the representative for Pulsar called me back, which was nice that, they actually did what they said they were going to do. And they called me back, and when he called me back, I told him that it had leaked some gear oil on the concrete floor in the garage, and that I checked it and that it's all dark gray with like pieces of metal in it. And he said, okay, well, that changes the whole thing. We're just going to go ahead and send you a new one out. He goes, I'll email you with instructions on what to do, in the next day. So he emailed me a list of things that I had to do to the old tiller because they were going to destroy it in the field. So I'll put some pictures in the video and show you exactly what we had to do. And so we sent him all the pictures that he wanted us, of the steps that he wanted us to do. And that was a Friday, so he didn't contact me back till Monday. And he said that they were going to go ahead and send me a new one, and that the pictures were, met the satisfaction. So they sent me out a new one, and today's Monday, and we got a new one. So it was like a week, maybe 9 days from the time I called till they sent me a new one. So I was really impressed with the company and how they handled the warranty, and I give them a shout out. Pulsar, they're a real good company, at least on this particular product and issues. They took real good care of me, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you the new one now. It was just delivered. I believe the guy's name was Jason who delivered it. Very nice guy. He's gonna go ahead and subscribe to the channel, so if you're watching, I hope I got your name right, and thanks for watching. So let's go ahead and unbox this and put it together. So here's the new tiller. It's exactly the same as the old one. The box is a little damaged up here. Not too bad. I don't think it affected the tiller. We'll figure that out when we get it opened up. But it's exactly the same as the old tiller. The only difference is I think it has a different engine on it. This is actually a Pulsar engine, and the other one was the Force engine. So let's go ahead and get it unpacked and start putting it together. Looks like it's packaged pretty good. Look, it actually has a steel frame around the box. Keep the box from getting dented in. Check that out. That's nice. No wonder it's so heavy. Some nice angle iron. It's always used for steel on the farm. So looks like it's in pretty good shape. You know, that might be the same engine as the old one. The picture he sent me of it, because it was a little different, to make sure I would agree to taking this one, because they were out of stock of the exact one that I had. It looked like in the picture the engine was different, but from the top view here, that looks like it's the same engine. So get this thing out of this crate and put it together. Okay, I got all the parts out of the box. Here's all the parts, manual and tires, the tines, and that's the front handle and the depth gauge bar. And then I guess in here is gonna be all our nuts and bolts and hardware. So we're left with this in the box with this big steel frame around it. So we gotta get this out of here. I might end up having to use the tractor to lift it out of this crate, but I'm gonna look at this and then see how we're gonna get it out of here. Okay, upon closer inspection, I noticed that down here it's actually bolted to the steel frame, so they didn't want this thing moving around at all. So let me grab some tools and we'll get those bolts out and then see how we're gonna get it out of this crate. Okay, there was 3 bolts holding it to the frame. There was 2 in the front and 1 in the back here on this bottom piece. So the handle has the cable already attached, and you can't pull it out because it's around the axle down there. So I think now that it's unbolted, I can pull this back half over and get the handle out of there, and go ahead and get the handle mounted up here to the screw so we don't mess up this cable when we're getting it out of the box. It'll be nice and straight and all, not more chance of it getting kinked with it curled like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and get the handle on here, then we'll lift it out of this crate. Okay, we were able to get the handle out of there. We got to find the pieces so we can go ahead and mount it to there. I'll open that box up and we'll find those pieces. Give you a cool little funnel. That's for filling the gear oil. It's a pain to get to the fill valve. And you got a whole bag of goodies. So I'm just going to dump all this out of the bag right here into this box, so nothing gets lost and we can see what we got. I believe this is the piece we're looking for. That's for the handle. So, and this is for the handle. And this bolt. And this, we got both these. And I'm not sure if it gets this washer, so I'll look in the directions, but I know the rest of those parts go to the handle. So let me look in the directions and see what else we need. Okay, so that's the pieces I picked out, and here's the instructions. So it does show that little washer, which is this washer. So now we got everything we need to put the handle on. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, this is not step one, but we're doing this so that the cable doesn't get damaged when we lift this out of the box. It'll keep the cable more secure. So that goes on there like that. And then our washer. And our lock. And there we go, we have our handle. Okay, so I took the cardboard and the plastic off of the crate so we could look at it better. And I was thinking we could just lift it out the top, but I've been looking at it, actually sticks past the steel on this side and the steel on this side. So I looked online at some videos of how other people get it out of the crate, and there wasn't too many, but there was one where somebody slid it out of the side of the crate. Now, sliding out of the crate might be a challenge because the handle is attached to it by this cable. And unless if you take the cable off, you gotta slide the handle and the whole unit out of the edge of the crate at the same time, which I would think would be pretty challenging because there's not much clearance on either side. So I'm thinking we're gonna lift it out of the top of the crate. I brought the tractor over here. I think we can hook it up and lift it up just a little bit, and then slide it one way and lift it up a little bit more and slip it out of the top of the crate. So let's try to do that. Watch out, Scott. That's how it's done. So now I'll just lower it down low enough to where we can put the wheels on it, and we won't have to move it again until the wheels are on it. Now we can get the wheels on this thing and get it assembled. Okay, let's get these tires put on. They just go on with these little pins and this clevis pin. So line them up with the little hole. Drop your pin in there. Line it up. Drop your little pin in there. Okay, so the next step is this cover for the tines. And it looks like it's gonna hit our strap, so we gotta go ahead and let this thing down and get these straps off of it before we can put this on. It has these bolts with nuts, washers. We got a lock washer and a regular washer. It's threaded back here. I think these nuts might go on two of the other bolts that are in the package that don't have nuts. So and these ones in the front actually use the nuts. It's not threaded up here. It's a slot form. And they are 10 millimeter. And the bolt's 10 millimeter, the nut is 13 millimeter. So okay, so I just snugged those two up. I'm gonna come around here. I'm gonna come around here and snug these up. And make sure this is all lined up where I want it. And then I'll go ahead and tighten them all down. Okay, we got that on. Right here, we'll go ahead and put the depth gauge on there, so we can pick it up off the tines. So that'll give you your depth right there. Okay, we got the front handle on. So next step is to unpack this handlebar packaging, and it comes with a clamp here to hold the cable. So let's get that unpacked and that clamp on. This is the little clamp that they give you for the cable. I looked all in the directions. I didn't see any spot that they recommend, like, you know, the perfect placement or whatever. I remember the old tiller was about right here, so I'm just going to put it about right here. And it just clips on there like that. You can slide it, I guess, where you need it. I don't think mine on the other tiller slid around that easy, but there you go. Now we're ready to do some tilling. So let's go ahead and check the gear oil. They didn't send me any oil with it. I know sometimes they send oil that you have to put in it. And the gear oil is full. It's right where it's supposed to be. It looks clear. Looks like good oil, so that's taken care of. And they have this where the oil drain is. Stop, make sure you put oil in it. Let's see if it's got engine oil in it. And it has a little bit of engine oil in it, but it's definitely low, so we're gonna have to add some engine oil. So let's go ahead and put some engine oil in it and see if it fires up. We'll put some gas in it and see if it'll crank over. Okay, let's put some oil in here. It calls for 10W30. We got some 10W30 here. And like I said, there was a little bit on the dipstick, so I'm not quite sure how much to put in there, but it was definitely low. Just put a little in at a time and keep checking it to make sure we don't overfill it. Okay, we got the oil all filled up. Let's check the pressure of the tires. And they're only at 8, so let me go ahead and pump up the tires real quick. All right, we got all the tires aired up. Let's go ahead and put some gas in this thing. Now, I'm not going to fill it all the way up in case if there is a problem with it. I don't want to have to drain all the gas out of it. So I'm just going to put a little bit in it to start it up. That should be good. It's on and off and a choke. So let's turn the gas on and choke it. Make sure the switch over here is on. Started up, seems like it's running and working great. I went ahead and turned the gas off. One thing I like to do with my small engines is turn the gas off and let them run completely out of gas when I store them. So the gas is turned off, we're just waiting for it to run out of gas, and I think we're good to go on this. All right, everyone, we got it put together. It works great. Everything's working good. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Pulsar for being, you know, spot on with the replacement, and real easy process, and they got it out here quick and everything was good. So I really appreciate that, and thanks for dropping it off, Jason, if that's your name. Hopefully I got your name right. I'm really bad with names, but thanks for bringing it by, and thanks for subscribing to the channel and watching the videos. And thank you everyone else for watching the video till the end, and I hope this video helped you. Please subscribe and hit that bell with all notifications, and hit that like button before you go, and we'll see you on the next one.